Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I weigh in tonight at an absolutely amazing, astonishing 235 1/4 pounds. Very important. Yes, that's what I said. I hail from Green Bay, Wisconsin! Hey, wait just a freaking minute. I'm doing the introductions here. And my name is... I thought I said freaking wait. Mr. Anderson! Well, since you don't want to freaking do it, I will. Anderson!
So JB's in the ring. He will handle the ring announcement for our main event here. Mr. Anderson versus the legendary Great Muta. I want to know who set the batting order, who set the lineups for Team USA versus Team World. It was smart strategy to hold your heavy hitters for the main event, but we might not have gotten here had certain things not played out. Anderson has an opportunity to compete against one of the all-time greats, one of the all-time legends in the history of pro wrestling, a man that we all grew up watching, the Great Muta. He was the first that I can recall that really, in my childhood, in the early 80s, after guys sort of made the bridge between Japan and the United States, I remember watching WCW and seeing the Great Muta and being in awe of this man. Halloween Havoc when he blew the fire out of the cage with his mist. One of the most mystical competitors. And you take a look at what the Great Muta has on right here. How can you not be intimidated? Think about it, folks, as I send it over to JB inside the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall and is your USA versus the World main event. When the bell rings, the man in charge, TNA official, Mr. Brian Hebner. And now, from Universal Studios Orlando, it's time for your main event. Introducing first, standing in the corner to my left, he weighed in this morning at 235 1/4 pounds from Green Bay, Wisconsin, Mr. Anderson. Anderson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing, standing to my right, he weighed in at 248 pounds and comes to us from Japan. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the legendary Great Muta!
If you've never had an opportunity, folks, to see the Great Muta compete, you're in for a treat here tonight. He's been doing it at the highest level for almost 3 decades, maybe 4 decades. JB, as you settle in here, how did it feel to be inside the ring in between Mr. Anderson and Muta?
Well, last year at Bound, oh, there's the green mist. At Bound for Glory in Japan, 2014, I would put that as a career, you know, just across the street. Just give you an idea of the lay of the land in Japan. The Tokyo Dome is right next to Kurikan Hall. They're right next to each other, right? I had the opportunity to announce the Great Muta, both in the Tokyo Dome in front of 40,000 people, and Kurikan Hall as well, both very legendary buildings. Career highlight, career personal moment for me, but to stand in the middle of the ring and get to introduce him at Universal Studios Orlando, Florida, an equally as exciting thrill. I am a huge fan of the Great Muta, and certainly going back to my very early days, he influenced a lot of people because he was so different from what we had seen in America up until that point. And still to this day can go with the best of them. That is the Great Muta, a legendary professional wrestling, an icon in Japan, a household name in Japan, and for any wrestling fan here in the United States as well.
And it is the Great Muta here against Mr. Anderson. Here's how we got here in Team USA versus the world. At Global Impact, Davey Richards defeated Tigre Uno. Taryn Terrell defeated Angelina Love. Austin Aries defeated Sonata. Team USA was up 3-0. Ben Bram would defeat Eddie Edwards. Drew Galloway would defeat Jesse Goddard. Shira defeats Gunner. Rockstar Spud defeats DJ Z. Team World was up 4-3. Magnus could have put it away, but he went to a double countout with James Storm. Kept it at 4-3. Then EC3 defeated Sanjay Dutt, a very game Sanjay Dutt, to put us at 4-4. And that's where we stand right now in our main event, the Great Muta versus Mr. Anderson in Universal Studios Orlando, Florida. Big night here on one night only. JB talked about the influence that the Great Muta's had on athletes over the past, you know, from the 80s to the 90s to where we stand now. And you think about guys like Yoshihiro Tajiri and the competitors that do the mist, the mystical spray that started with Muta. And now here we are today in 2015, near the end of 2015, and Muta is still a trendsetter. Cover by Anderson.
I'll tell you what, the first time I saw the mist, I've seen it by a couple of mysterious wrestlers, but I remember the first time was with the Great Kabuki. Certainly many of our British fans will, well, certainly no stranger there. Around the world as well. But it is a tradition that we have seen before. But the thing is about the Great Muta, he has perfected it. And I'll tell you why. It comes out of nowhere when you don't see this coming and the referee's not looking, and here it is. He has mastered the art of using it to his advantage, and certainly has been very successful over the course of time. And look at this.
Breaker there by Anderson into the cover on Muta, who kicks out at 2. The Great Sonata following in the footsteps of the Great Muta. He's using the mist as well to his advantage, and what a leg whip, like only Muta can do.
That'll mess up your knee 5 different ways.
Just corkscrews you right into the canvas.
Who can forget Muta's legendary matches with TNA Hall of Famer Sting? Legendary bouts.
Harkens back to my childhood as Muta. Those quick striking elbows that so many have tried to duplicate over the years, but no one quite like the Great Muta.
First time I ever saw a moonsault was Muta. This guy brought so much to the table, an innovator, and is held in such high regard.
He's got that step over front face lock here on Mr. Anderson. Anderson trying to, didn't tap out there. He's just trying to get a feel for where Muta's elbow is as it relates to his chin, and Anderson is completely locked up here. The lower body just as tied up as the upper body.
Now, what an opportunity this would be for the world stage to take note that the Great Muta was able to secure the 5th and final win for Team World, and what a feather in the cap of Team USA it would be if Mr. Anderson would be able to do the same for Team USA.
And Anderson reaches the bottom rope. This would be a career highlight. It's got to be a career highlight just to be in the ring with the Great Muta for Anderson, but a career highlight would be able to say you went in there with Muta and you defeated Muta. Ooh. right to the eyes there. Muta's no stranger to the way the referees are here in Impact Wrestling. They let it go a little bit. They'll let you play. He'll get a warning from referee Brian Hebner with the eye rake, but nothing more. What a night it's been here, one night only. Global Impact. JB thanked you earlier. Allow me to do the same right now for joining us on our one night only pay-per-view series. Love the interaction we get via Twitter from all of you. Follow along at Impact Wrestling. Shoulders down.
I actually follow the Great Muta on Twitter.
Good follow? Good follow?
Don't know what he's saying. It's all in Japanese, but I still feel like I need to have that connection. I'm that big of a fan. I'm learning Japanese so I can read his Twitter feed. Learning Japanese, I really think so. How about Great Muta taking it to Mr. Anderson?
Anderson's knee's got to be all sorts of twisted up right now. So those knee pads, I mean, they'll help. They'll keep everything kind of in place. I mean, I can't imagine how inflamed the knee of Anderson will be when he takes those knee pads off later, but right now he's in a world of trouble, and he's got to go back after this, and he's got to realize that he's got a group of competitors from America that told him, we want you to bat cleanup, so to speak, for us. If we're still in this thing late, and it's the last match, and it's tied up, you're our guy, Ken. You're our guy that we feel can get it done.
Well, I'll tell you what, it came down to this.
Ooh.
Given the, Anderson, so much momentum. Given the locker room, the players that were left.
Hold that thought, JB. Cover here by Anderson, and Muta kicks out at 2.
And the stakes as they are after that double disqualification match. Mr. Anderson selected as the final participant in this main event, this final matchup, to represent Team TNA with the hopes of getting the win. And what is going on now with Muta? Looking underneath the ring, going for a chair. This would mean an automatic disqualification and a loss.
Yeah, Muta's got to realize that even though that we like to let the rules go a little bit, this is not legal.
This is not a no disqualification match as well either. Maybe a miscommunication. But Brian Hebner trying to get that chair out of the ring, and you can't blame him.
Mic check coming. The mist!
Oh, wow, went for the mic check, and there it was.
The Great Mist by the Great Muta. Shining Wizard. Muta into the cover. Anderson down, and Muta victorious.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match, the Great Muta.
Team World has defeated Team USA off the Green Mist from the Great Muta. A thrilling night, a stolen victory. Muta knew what he was doing, JB, brought the chair in. That was just a distraction.
Served nothing more than a distraction. Able to get Brian Hebner, the referee, and there it is. Obviously, a situation where Mr. Anderson, hit by the mist, wasn't expecting a thing while trying to apply the mic check. Muta able to secure the victory and the win for Team World. Victorious tonight on Global Impact.
Can't say that I'm shocked once we saw the Great Muta get inside the ring with Mr. Anderson, but it was a night filled with tremendous action. It was a night filled with awesomeness. We thank you for joining us here on One Night Only.